Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we are playing with Trunks Future. This is a very unique deck. I don't have a lot of experience playing blue currently. It is one of the colours that I'm probably not using to climb the ladder a lot, just because it's a very different strategy compared to most of the other decks. You know, you want to try and hover around that 7-card hand, which can be quite difficult to maintain if you don't sequence everything properly, but we are playing with Trunks. I do think that it is probably the most starter-friendly blue leader between all three. So I think that we're going to try and do some climbing with this today. So we'll just go over a quick game first, hopefully a quick game, and then we will take a look at the deck list. I do have a friend of mine who has been helping to build blue. So a lot of this is just kind of from what he's advised, or not necessarily advised, but what he's maybe like said were sort of good techs and stuff like that. So we are trying this. This is the first time playing this build. This isn't the worst starting hand, so we are going to keep that. We do have the Mai. We're just going to have to charge one of those Vegetas right off the bat, I think. And this is Starter? No, this is U7. No, it's Starter. Yeah, okay, Starter. Starter Goku, which can be a bit of a pain. We do want to trade a lot, you know, for 15s and 20Ks, so it's going to be a bit of a pain that he can just freely buff his battle cards. I think because of the inherent quickness of Red's Awakening, we kind of want to get there first, so we will likely take the 2 life with the Mai. We just want to keep pressuring that board as well as obviously their life at the same time. So we're going to use the leader's effect to bounce a lot of their cards, because the one thing with Red is that they have to spend a lot to establish. So, you know, if we can keep that board limited as much as possible, that would be very helpful. So yeah, so we're just going to charge this Vegeta for now, and then we were going to play into the Mai. Just take the 2 life here. Okay, so not the best, but not the worst either. Now that's pretty good. We can either go into that next turn, or we do have the Trunks as well as a potential. So he's going to take that damage, kind of as you'd expect. We'll just pass there. So we do have one Pilaf for that Pilaf loop. Obviously Pilaf can also add back this card as well, so we will be trying to get as much advantage out of this. Again, it's another way to return battle cards as well as just buffing our attackers. And of course there's the Neg 5. Kind of expected that to happen. And he's just going to swing face, which we will take gladly. Now we're going to bounce back both of these. These are 10Ks, but I'm not that fussed in the short term. I would just rather him not have free combo from board when it gets to that stage. We're going to charge one of these Vegetas since we have another one spare. We are on 9 cards, so yeah. Either way, we're not going to get the bounce back from the Goten, so we're probably only going to get one of these to go back, but that's fine. So we will play the Goten first. We'll swing to lead. We'll take that life. We don't get to bounce anything, and then we'll just leave that at 15. Let's see if he combos. It's not, as expected. And then we'll just flip the leader over. So the difference between this list, so blue Trunks tends not to get as much advantage out of that 7 card that blue does. But I think that's kind of the entire purpose of this deck. I don't think that you're supposed to hover around the 7. Obviously we do include cards like Gallic Gun, which do take benefit of that. You know, the Trunks becoming a 25k, the Goten as well, even the Pilaf, but you know, we don't have to use these right away. These are going to be late game, you know, pressures that we're going to put on. Is just, you know, tapping that 1 energy for Pilaf to start recycling either our extra card or more Pilafs, or just whatever we can get value out of. I'm tempted not to actually bounce back any of this at the minute. And then going into this turn, if he keeps swinging here, we kind of do want to defend it, but we are out of energy, so I think we might actually just bounce back the Goten and just use some of our cards defensively. He's going to go into his 3 energy, which means he could potentially just kill that off anyway. So we'll bounce back the Goten for now. And then we'll just play off that massive hand that we have. And then going into the next turn is where if we wanted to use the energy marker, we can really put some pressure on with this card. Essentially you swing with it, it normally does get bottom decked at the end of the turn, but we use our lead skill to bounce it back to our hand. And then we play it again for another 2 energy. So this becomes essentially a dual attack 30k for 4 energy. It can be very strong. So he's put a 10k on, we're quite willing to just put on a 10k ourselves. So I think we're actually going to combo the Goten. Just playing the rotate to draw. I think we might actually go into this next turn, because on attack we can actually bottom deck one of these 1-drops, so we might swing into here. We'll see, it depends on... no, we're not going to take this, we'll just combo off a 5. And there we go, so our hand has come down a bit, but I think this is kind of what you're supposed to do with blue, is just in that initial burst of your hand size with Trunks especially, is just hover around using all those cards that you've gained from those swings, from the Self-Awakening, from the Awaken itself. And then once you get into that stage of the realm of 7-8 cards, that's where we can actually start to get the max value out of these cards, you know, the Trunks, the Pilafs, the Gallic Guns. I think we're going to save the energy marker. I think we'll save it for this, so I think what we might end up just doing next turn is maybe play the Trunks and swing. The problem is that he's got a lot of combo power on board, which is kind of annoying. I think we just charge the critical. I'd much rather have this dual attacker for later and we can bottom deck one of these 1-drops. I mean, currently he's got 25k combo power on board, which is going to be a pain. Okay, let's attack here. Let's see what he does first. We're in no hurry to get him awakened. We want him to kind of do it himself. I'd much rather spend the time on his board. We do have another one of these spare, so worst case scenario we could just bounce this back to hand. But we kind of want him to use that advantage he has currently on the board. So we're either going to bounce the Trunks or we'll bounce the 18. We'll see what happens off of the back of these. It will definitely combo one in and maybe a 5 from hand, or he might just get them both. We'll see. I think either way it's a win for us. Whatever he spends here to save this. Okay, so he's not going to save it at all. And since this gets bottom decked, I'm really tempted to just remove one of these from the field. No, I think we just keep that card. Yeah, we'll just return this to hand. Yeah, we don't really have anything else in way of pressure, so we'll just pass there. We have an energy open for a Gallic Gun if we need it. Yeah, so I think personally of the 3 blue decks, Goku Black and Vegeta are much more difficult. I do think that Vegeta's getting a lot of hate at the minute, which is kind of unfair. I think that the deck is really strong. One of our UK players has put together a list that he is doing very, very well on. I think because the deck has a very high skill ceiling, a lot of people are just overlooking it. But if you can maneuver around that 8-7 card hand, as well as I've seen him do it, the deck can really take you by surprise. So I think we... Yeah, I think we combo the Trunks here. We'll get out with this attack. And then I think we use maybe the Gallic Gun, depending on how high he goes in with this crit. We'll maybe use the Gallic Gun to get out with this one. I think there's a possibility he just dumps both, but he doesn't. Okay. So this is only a 10k again. Yeah, I'd much rather keep these for now. So I think we just dump one of these off again. Man, I think next turn we just put this down. Just get rid of it. We could return it back to hand actually with the Trunks, that might be the better play. Yeah, we're going to charge one of these now, we've got too many. Yeah, I think we don't do this, I think we maybe return it with the Trunks. Because theoretically we can do both this turn, we could actually do both, the 3 and the 2. I do want to keep this Trunks though because it's a very simple way of removing that 5-drop without us having to, you know, swing over it. There's not really anything 5 cost or higher related in blue besides the Trunks. What do we have? So we have 9 in hand. Don't really have any targets for the Pilaf, unfortunately. I suppose we could just Final Hope / Year. That would put us to 8. Actually, no, it would keep us at 9 with the draw. No, there's no point. Okay, let's... We'll lead to lead. Just leave that at 20. He'll likely take this. He wants to awaken. I'd be surprised if he doesn't take this. Yeah, I think we use the Trunks to return the Gohan. We're not that bothered about the 5k in hand, and I think we force him to commit to playing that again, essentially ending his turn, or he's going to go into the 5-drop. And we're going to return that Trunks with our own lead skill, so he's not going to have anything on board to neg. Or do we go for the dual attacker and just leave this? No, I think we get rid of it. So we'll play the Trunks, we will not take the life, we'll send that back to hand. And we'll swing 20 at him, we'll let him awaken and probably just get rid of one of these. How do we do this actually? I think we do. Yeah, I think we do, because I'd much rather have him at 3 going into this next turn. If he doesn't end up at 3, then he's going to have to spend a lot to get out of it, so that's fine by us as well. So we'll leave that at 40. And with us being on 8 now, we will likely go up cards again, because we are probably going to take some damage in the next turn, but if we even spend some to try and stay around this 8 mark, then we're actually sitting very pretty in terms of our hand. You know, we can recycle stuff with the Pilaf, we can recycle stuff with the Gotenks. Okay, so we got 3 cards out of his hand. Or 2 cards out of his hand, sorry. Which is worth it for me. And then we just use this to bounce the Trunks back, and then we pass. We just want to keep that Trunks just because, like I said, we want that easy 5 cost Goku removal. There's not very many ways for us to try and deal with it. I mean, we could just play this a couple of times and, you know, put in a couple of combos, just try and go over the top of it, but it's always easier to just send it back to hand, I think. Yeah, see, there it is. I don't mind taking the double strike here, we're not taking both. And we love sending this back to hand as well, because it's a zero cost combo. So we'll take this. Probably going to charge this, I think. We'll see. Do we maybe go into that 4 cost as a charge target? Okay, we'll just combo off the Mai. So I don't think we're killing on this turn. I would much rather just spend the 3 to remove this and just a couple of pokes between leader and this, and we could even go into this turn as well. And then I think the turn after, if he puts the 5 drop down again, we don't care about this. I would much rather bounce this back with the leader on our next turn and keep that for the following turn. Because swinging 30k's and above multiple times a turn is definitely the way to do it. So we have a Goku Black, which we could actually use now, although we're not at that energy. I think we're just going to charge this. We're not going to use it offensively, and we don't really need it for the defense. So what do we have in drop currently? Let's have a look. Okay, so we could technically cheat that out with the Goku Black. Okay. We are going to have to spend some cards here though. So when we play Goku Black, he adds 1 back. So we need to be at 7, because then he will go down to 6, go back to 7, and then on swing we're at 7. Okay, so we need to get rid of 3 cards from hand here. Which I'm fine with. I think we dump the Gotenks, we dump the Pan, and we'll also dump this as well. So we'll go 40k into here. We miscalculated that because of the draw. Oh well. Yeah, see, we're at 8. That's a problem. Oh, that's annoying. Okay, well, we do it this way anyway. We'll just bounce that back. We do not add the life. We'll send that back. We have 2 of these now sitting defensively, so it's not the worst mistake in the world, but it certainly is not kind. Do we have... We don't have another Pilaf yet either, do we? We don't. We could play Pilaf to add the Pan back, though. You could grab this, but I don't think we're going to use it in either of our turns going forward. And maybe we do if we just go for this beatdown, maybe. I don't mind about spending the energy marker defensively, so I think we just peel off here. And we will take this, maybe? No. I think I would rather have the defensive combo, since we messed up. So we'll take that. And then we'll swing. And then we will combo peel off. Put him at 30, let's see what he does. Get 2 cards out of the hand, that'll do. And then we can bounce that Trunks as well. And 8 is the perfect number for the Gallic Gun. So the Gallic Gun being at 8, obviously once we activate it we drop down to 7, which triggers the draw. So we'll see, he'll probably just tap 5 again. Yeah. we're not all that concerned. We'll even it out off of this, plus this, so we've got a couple of 10Ks and a 5. I just hope he doesn't have his own version of this as well, otherwise this could be very close. He has spent a lot of 10K combos. Okay, so yeah, he does have the plus 15. I think it's going to come down to what our draws are off of these two. So you see how easy it is to make a mistake on the math, like of the hand size and stuff. Like blue is very punishing for that. So he is at 70k, which is pretty easy for us. So we'll just go in with this one first. Give it to the leader, we'll draw that card. Which is a Pilaf, which is good. We'll throw in the super. So that is 55. Are we gonna have to do this? We could get away with both of these, potentially. No, I don't think we save that energy marker. I think we just go in with this. And then we are going to have to throw a 5k on it as well, but that's fine. So we've got a super combo, so we are now at 70, and then we hit 75. And then if he swings with lead tier, we take the damage. So we just take this, no reason not to. Okay, so we're just going to charge the Mai, or do we charge... Oh, we've got a decision to make here. We need this first attack to go through, so he has 3 in hand. There's a potential for super combos there. Okay, so he's not used a single super combo. I'm going to assume he's not charged any. Oh no, he's charged 1. Okay, so 1 has been charged. Mathematically, can we do this? I think we need to be at 6 either way, so we're just going to charge this. Is that maybe the way to do it? We tap 1 for the Pilaf, we add back the Pilaf, or actually do we add back the Final Hope? Maybe we do add this back, put that onto the leader swing, 40k. Yeah, I think we do that. Oh no, wait, we can't, because that's going to be 2 energy. Ooh, okay. Tell you what, we'll swing first, let's see what we draw. Okay, that's a great draw for us. Yeah, we could just go weenie beat down here. 25, 30, 30. I think that's the way to do it. We'll pop the pan on. We'll just get rid of something from hand, or he takes. The problem is, as much as I would love to commit with this, we can't really. I mean, we've got, what, 35, so that'd be 45, 55, 65, 75. We'd be at 85, and if he even has 2 or 3 supers, that could be a problem. We would need to see all 3, actually. You can go 40, 60, 80, plus he would need a 10k. What are the odds he has a 0 in hand? Because this looks like it's just a starter deck, so I don't think he's going to be running any of the SRs. And it would be such a feels bad if we go all in here and we lose. The problem is we can't do the Pilaf chain with these. So I think what we do Yeah, we'll Pilaf, we'll add back a Pilaf, and then we'll play the 5-drop and we'll just go for game that way. Then we just swing and we dump all of it. So we're at 95k. Yeah, I don't think he has anything to get out of this. 3 supers wouldn't be enough now. So we got it. But yeah, that one mistake where I went to play the Goku Black and I miscounted, that is how punishing blue can be when you don't sequence correctly. And unfortunately, I'm a bit of an idiot, so... But yeah, we were lucky to get out of that one, really. Now, there are a lot of different variations of blue out there. So I'm going to show you the list I'm running with Trunks. A lot of people will massively disagree with the list. They will wonder why I'm not running like 1-drop, you know, like Bulmas, things like that. But it is potentially, I think it's one of those decks where it's going to take a lot to fine-tune this. So we run 2 pans just as a way of digging into our deck. There are times where we're going to need to dig for certain pieces. You know, if we're looking for, like, let's say we haven't opened up with a Mai, for example, we might want to dig for a Mai, or we might want to dig for a 3-cost Trunks, or any one of these 2 costs. There are definitely targets that we do want to dig with, plus it is a 10k combo. We run 4 Pilafs. The Pilaf loop is one of the best, if not strongest things in the game currently. It's a very, very good way of just generating ridiculous amounts of combo power for free. I say for free, it's for 1 energy, but yeah, it just means it's recursion every turn, which is always good. We run 4 Mais just for that early self-awaken, because we do want to start bouncing things back as quickly as possible. We run 4 of the 1-drop Trunks, which is just the cantrip. We run 4 of this 2-cost, so this is the on-attack at bottom decks, but with our leader skill we can bounce it back to hand. So we can either play this multiple times a turn, or even just once a turn for a 30k, either life pressure or board pressure. It's you know, it's a very good target for both. We run 4 Goten and 3 Trunks, so we only run 3 Trunks. There's a potential to even cut him to 2 here, because we don't play with a 7-card hand that often. He loses his value, and Goten's real value is just the self-awaken side of it. The sending a card 2 or less back to hand is nice, it comes up every now and again, but in the early game it really doesn't, not with this leader. We run 4 of the Trunkses. It's solid into most matches. It's great in the yellow, it is great in the red. It's also good into not even just the blue mirror, but just against any blue deck in general. It's very solid just to bounce these cards away. It's definitely recommended, and I do like how we can bounce them off our leader, so if we only see 1 a game, you know, we can recur it multiple times a game, which is always helpful. We run 4 of the dual attack Vegeta. A lot of people are they're not sold on this card, but I actually think it's one of the strongest cards in blue. Not only on attack does a bottom deck a 1-drop, it is essentially a dual attack 20k. So if you're playing against red U7, for example, it's a way to pressure the board, or it's a way to pressure the life, depending on how well you've been able to maintain that board. We also run 2 of the critical Vegetas, and we run 2 of the Gotenks. The Gotenks is just, it's mainly there to be played off of black sometimes. If we haven't seen the critical or even the dual attacker, it's for me in order, it probably goes the critical, the dual attacker, and the Gotenks for what we want to play off the Goku Black. But yeah, it's just an extra target, and plus it can add back 2 of these, or even, you know, 1 of these Trunks, and it does also add back, I believe, this Trunks as well. So there are a lot of targets. Oh wait, no, so it has to be Trunks Youth, I believe. I believe it's Trunks Youth, so yeah, it has to be either this or this. Yeah, we can't add back either of these. And then we run 3 of the double strikes, just for obvious game finishing purposes. We run 2 of the Goku Blacks. Again, it's a game finisher, it's a tall body, it's a way to play out an extra body at 4 or less. Very strong for that. We run 4 Videl Supers. We also run 2 Final Hope Slashes. I put 2 of these in just because it is grabbable off Pilaf. And there are times where we don't have a play except to tap 2 and play this guy and put in a 20k on it. And potentially even a 30k between, you know, if we combo the Pilaf off as well. Yeah, it sometimes comes up. It might not be the best way to use that energy, but it is a possibility, and it's good for, you know, forcing us to go tall to clear bigger bodies that we can't otherwise deal with. And then 4 Gallic Gun. I think this is another underrated blue card. you know, 7 or less cards in hand. So when you're at 8, you activate it, you go down to 7, you get the plus 15, and you get the draw. I can't really complain at that. That's a lot of value for when you're at 8. There are definitely certain elements of this deck that are better in Vegeta, you know, Pilaf being at 7, Trunks and Goten being at 7 for their effect. I believe Gotenks as well is at 7, and Goku Black as well, also at 7. So and obviously the Final Flashes, so, or sorry, Gallic Guns. So there are a lot of options that are in here that are maybe better in Vegeta than they are in Trunks, but for now I personally think that they're just the best generic blue cards, and we can put them in this leader, so that's what we've done. But this is by no means an optimized list. I am more than happy for anybody out there to completely tell me I'm wrong. It's something that I've just not got the experience with, and I do enjoy playing blue. I like that additional challenge of having to play around your own hand, even when your own missteps can cost you the game, much more so than in any other color. So it's definitely a risky color to play currently, but if you do want a deck with a very high skill ceiling, any blue deck at the minute will give you that. I think Trunks is just generally the easier of the 3 because you don't get punished as heavily as you do in the other decks. But yeah, only time will tell if blue will ever actually be meta relevant in set 1. But yeah, if anybody has a list that they want me to try, I would be more than happy to give it a go. So please, honestly, if anybody's watching the video who has a Trunks list, feel free to link it in the comments. Yeah, I'll take a look and maybe I'll build it and do another video on it. But thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will catch you in the next one.